Oh, there you are. Hi. You've seen the title. It's news is broken so quickly, I haven't had time to find the xylophone. You'll just have to imagine it. Cody and Brandi Rhodes are leaving AEW and are expected to join WWE. This is massive.
This is huge. It comes from minutes ago when Cody and AEW, or Tony Khan on behalf of AEW, both released statements pretty much saying this. We'll get through all those statements in full in just a sec.
We will.
But yeah, according to reports from Fightful and the Wrestling Observer earlier today, he could even be leaving for WWE, which would change the landscape, I think, of pro wrestling. Certainly for a while.
This comes after reports of Cody and Brandi Rhodes being at loggerheads with AEW on a new deal. It's something that's come to light during episodes of Dynamite. It's given us a little bit of a, is this a work, is this a shoot, is this a work, shoot, brother type vibe. But following a report that went out initially from Wrestling Observer and then from Fightful saying that they were unable to come to a new agreement with AEW and a departure for WWE was possibly on the cards, Cody Rhodes put out the following well-prepared statement. I say well-prepared because it was beautifully photoshopped and produced. This was written last night.
Cody said, "I've loved my time at AEW, past tense, I've loved it. Amazing locker room, amazing fans, amazing people. The revolution was indeed televised and I've been incredibly lucky to be a part of that. First, I want to thank Tony Khan. He's taken the baton and ran with it, and it was an honour to work for him and to know him on a personal level. He's a beautiful soul. Obviously need to thank my incredible wife and the mother of my baby girl, Brandi, for all her love and support throughout this journey together and the amazing relationship she fostered with Culture City and the American Heart Association. I also need to thank Nick and Matt Jackson. These two, whether they know it or not, took an undesired and not confident little cub and gifted me the confidence to become a leader of the pack." He thanks various people from then on, Kenny Omega, who he calls Kenneth Omega, Chris Jericho, Chicken. There's a lot of in-jokes or nicknames that we don't quite probably know. But he said, "We started the fire. I must thank Tim W, Keith M, Greg W, and the amazing production crew who understood and captured the vision with such grace. I can't name everybody, but thank you to," it says many, many people, including Tony Schiavone there, and the hardest worker in the game, QT Marshall, for propping me up and kicking me in the ass when I was running on fumes. Then he says, I must thank all my kiddos, aka people he's had a hand in the development of in the ring, I suppose. MJF, Jade, Sammy, Darby, Lee, Ricky, Tom, The Guns, Brock, Velvet, Nyla, Aubrey, Turner, Vanilla, Solo, Spears, Julia, Anna, Will, Wardlow, Sonny, Fuego 1, and of course Negative 1. And while we're at it, give Jade the Cody Vator. I guess that's the entrance thing that he comes through.
Yeah.
Also need to take a moment to thank the great partners at Warner Media, including Brett, Sam, and the rest of the team. I have so many milestones and beautiful memories of this renaissance through sweat, blood, tears, literal fire, and all that. I left it all on the mat. Everything pales in comparison to the final contribution I was empowered to lead at the company, the community outreach team. In the most inward moments, your outward behaviour and your ability to take fame/influence and do something of value for the communities you visit, whether the cameras are on or off, is the highest honour. I'm confident that Amanda Huber will lead the department with style. I'm so proud of my creations and contributions and the items I supported or collaborated on with such wonderful professionals. Thank you, fans. Y'all did the work. Let's live forever.
I feel like he kept it quite short. He could have gone into more detail, maybe.
I'm sorry about that, by the way. I should have maybe picked and chosen which parts I went for. But
no, there was a lot. There was a lot. Following that announcement from Cody Rhodes, AEW CEO, President, General Manager, Head of Creative, Tony Khan, put out the following statement on AEW socials saying, "Cody and Brandi Rhodes were integral to the launch of All Elite Wrestling. Cody's ability combined with his boldness and passion for industry and love for community outreach helped AEW deliver on our mission to give fans what they needed for far too long, something new, innovative and lasting. Brandi helped us shape the AEW story, and I appreciate how hard she fought for both in the ring and out of the ring, competing in the women's division while advancing our efforts at inclusion and civic causes," mentioning Culture City, the American Heart Association as well. He ends one saying, "I have immense respect and appreciation for Cody and Brandi and wish them both the best as they move on from AEW." A few other messages, tweets have come through that kind of add a bit more to this story. Sean Ross Sapp has mentioned, obviously on Fightful, that there'll be further details to come on this one. Also saying that Cody to WWE would be the first AEW to WWE defection, and if it happens, would be about as big as possible considering he's an EVP. Wild times. Andrew Zarian has put out a tweet as well now, and this adds to further speculation as to what is next for Cody. Andrew Zarian from the Mat Men podcast saying, "I can confirm that Cody's camp has been in contact with WWE officials."
So that's either fleshing out more of the report that Fightful and The Observer did earlier today, or it's a new stage, I guess, of the report. It's saying, like, now Cody has actually been in contact with WWE officials. So it's quite intense.
Dustin Rhodes has put out a message following this as well, simply saying, "No, I'm not leaving. I like it here in AEW."
Go on, Dustin.
Dustin is sticking around. Yeah. A story that continues to break. And I think to go back to what Sean Ross Sapp said there, like, this is, it's a, whichever camp in the wrestling world that you fall into, whether you are like pro WWE, anti-WWE, whether you're an AEW lover or an AEW hater, like, this is quite a seismic change in the wrestling landscape, because this is a guy that left WWE after feeling like he wasn't truly, like, taken seriously in WWE, to create a product that could run up against WWE.
He changed the wrestling world when he left. He really did.
And that isn't hyperbole from AEW fans. That's true, because it's because of Cody going and along with the EVPs creating a rival product, it did change the landscape. Whether you love the product or don't, it's changed the landscape. It's given more wrestlers places to work. It's given more places options. And you know what? It's kept a lot of wrestling people on their toes as well.
Yes.
And will continue to do so in the absence of Cody and Brandi Rhodes as they are heading away from the company.
Yes. Also, I think he began to change it even before the formation of AEW. Like, the list, the whole social media thing, when he wanted to do Bowler, he wanted to do all these indie sort of things that we typically didn't see from former or recently released WWE superstars, and he went and did it, and he put his heart and soul into it as well. It wasn't just a quick payday, like, he was really trying. So because of all of that put together, I'm quite surprised by the news that he's leaving. Obviously, things were a bit strange with him recently, like content of his promos and stuff, but I am still surprised, but I'm more shocked that it would be to possibly go back to WWE. That is very surprising to me.
It's a one. Okay, so we asked the question, like, if there are conversations between Cody and WWE, what do you see Cody doing in WWE? How is this something? I'm just going to throw this out into the world. Does Cody Rhodes rock up at WrestleMania?
I mean, that would be
in Texas.
It would be huge. That would be, and I would love to see it for all the chaos that would ensue.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what happens after that? Because the way that superstars in WWE are booked right now, apart from Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, is not very consistent. And I just get the same vibe I did as when we were hearing all these rumours that there was going to be a new promotion started, and then reports emerged that WWE had reached out to the Bucks and Hangman and Cody and offered them the world, and they turned it down. Well, now I'm worried that, well, not worried, but just interested to see whether that would be a similar sort of offer where they'd say to Cody, come back, you'll win the belt and all this sort of stuff. But we've seen what's happened to people who they've welcomed back into the fold, and sometimes they're not booked the best. So it'll be very interesting no matter what happens.
This is a rolling breaking news story, and we'll have more for
And
you.
there is more breaking.
And there is more.
There is more breaking news.
Okay, cool.
Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has more details.
Thank you to Sean Ross Sapp of
Absolutely.
Fightful, by the way.
He's been on it.
Fightful Select is a really good place to go and get stuff like this, so big love to Sean,
100%.
Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.
But he's saying that apparently Cody sought a big money deal last week, and several didn't think that a re-signing was going to happen. And then by Friday night, numerous people inside and outside the company knew that this was likely going to be the case. Apparently, WWE officials were also well aware of the situation and knew that an announcement would be dropped as well. Cody Rhodes and Brandi, again, Sean Ross Sapp says, haven't been quite as connected to the locker room in recent years as when AEW started, with word emerging that Cody had become distant from the other EVPs. I remember that story coming out.
There was a few things about the EVPs last year, yeah.
And then as well, apparently WWE on BT Sport, that Twitter account, did the Cody tweet. I'm guessing the
ear
thing,
cupping,
but that's now been deleted. Now I reckon that's just a rogue social media guy. I don't think, but we never know.
They're all rogue social media guys at BT Sport.
It sounds like maybe a bit of a rogue social media guy.
Right. Are we safe to sign off on this?
I think so.
Think we are.
I think so.
But as we say, this is a rolling news story, breaking news story for your afternoon.
Thanks to the news team upstairs for keeping us updated as well. I've been
and you can see what they're doing firsthand Cultaholic.com. Your top story once more today. Cody and Brandi Rhodes are leaving AEW and, according to sources, are expected to join WWE.
So much adrenaline in my soul.
Stay safe. Love you. Bye.